Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. Yes, what's going on, Reds? This is your breaking news show, and on today's agenda, we're going to discuss United fire sale, certain outgoings. Is a list that's been released that we're definitely going to talk about. Some very interesting ones on there. The bid is still on the table for Mason Mount. I was slightly leaning more towards back that after all the Casado news. Rabiot deal back on. He's going to make a decision in the next couple of days. Details about the Iqbal deal, and apparently we're keeping an eye on Kudus, keeping an eye on monitoring, appreciating, looking at whatever terminology you want to use for it. Apparently we are doing that. So we're going to discuss Mohamed Kudus and the potential of him signing for United as well. But we've got Chivy back on the show. Sam, hello to you as well, but you've been on quite regular. So Chivy, how are you?
All good, man. All good. Good to be back on.
Yes, always a pleasure to have you back on, sir. As always, everybody in the chat, make sure you do smash like on the video, get your questions in, get your comments in, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around these parts as we go through the topics on the table. Sam, I'm going to ask you how I don't want to leave you out.
Yeah, good. Monday, always a bit of a slow start, but we're all good. So let's carry on and let's get some actual news about United because it was a bit quiet this weekend. Yeah. So
been quite productive today, actually, to be fair, for a Monday. We've managed to two members' videos have been done. So keep an eye out for them. They'll be released this week at some point, and many other stuff that I've got ongoing. We've got 2 guests lined up for this week. So, yeah, the channel productive, as always. Now, we're going to start with the fire sale at Manchester United. So Chris Wheeler, who writes for the Daily Mail, released a list last night, which featured United players who could potentially be for sale, and there's some interesting ones on there. So what I'll do is I'll read out the list and the categories that they're in, and then after that, we'll discuss it. So on the for sale category, for sale, Donny van der Beek for 20 million, Fred for 20, Elanga for 20, Hannibal for 13, Tellez for 10, Eric Bailly for 2, Brandon Williams for 5 million, and Zidane Iqbal, who's just been confirmed now for 850k with a 40% sell-on clause and a buyback clause, I believe. So that's the for sale category. Then the category we'll listen to offers: Maguire for 40, Mctominay for 40, and Henderson for 20. That's the we'll listen to offers. And then the last 2 in that could be at the right price category is Jadon Sancho for 45 million and Anthony Martial for 25 million. The first thing I noticed about that list, lads, I don't know about yourself, is that straight away I was thinking, how much do we buy these players for, aside from the academy products? Every single player on there pretty much is half price at what we bought them for. Chivette, I'll go to you first. What's a realistic price tag for these players, do you believe?
Well, that was a long list. That was a pretty long list. I think, to be honest, if we're going to go based on their recent performances, it's kind of fair. But the Eric Bailly for 2 million is ridiculous. Like that's a bit of an insult, to be honest. Like, I don't know how long he's got left on his contract, so that might play into it, you know, in terms of how many years he's got left. But I mean, nobody's going to buy Jadon Sancho for more than 45 million, to be honest. Like that's the most we can get for him. If Arsenal are trying to get Julian Timber for like 45, then if Sancho is 45 as well, like I think that's fair. But apart from the Eric Bailly fee, I think it's pretty much realistic is the word I'd use for them. And it just shows that we actually want to get rid of them. We haven't added too much value on them, and that just shows how the club sees the players, in my opinion.
Interesting. It's a bit weird watching a still image with audio coming out of it, so I don't know if you want to try sort that out whilst I move on to Sam, but it's just literally
maybe switch your camera on and off or something, because there's a lot of jokes in the chat. Should be on Britain's Got Talent with those ventriloquism skills. Chivy, don't blink if you want Martial sold. Yeah, a lot of people are in the chat having fun with it.
Oh my god.
There we go. He's back. He's back.
What did you say in the chat?
There's an echo.
So Chivy said, Adam said, Chivy, don't blink if you want Martial sold. And then Brian Casey said, should be on Britain's Got Talent with those ventriloquism skills.
I love it.
So
I love it.
We have the smartest chat in the world, don't we?
We do. I love it. Yeah, Sam, some prices there that are a little bit like, okay. Donny 20 you'd probably expect because he's not got much game time, and even if you get 20, that's quite a good price for him. Fred 20, got a year left, that's fine. Elanga 20. Yeah, we won't get Elanga for 20 million, would we? Surely.
Did we see a report saying we lowered the price to 10 million?
Yeah, I did, but this is Chris Wheeler who's reported this. So if we're expecting 20 for Elanga, I can't see it.
No,
I really can't see it.
That's
overpricing him.
Because I saw there was a report that Dortmund were interested in Elanga, but United had lowered the price to 10 million. So yeah. I think 10 million is probably a more accurate representation of Elanga's value rather than 20. Because if he's 20 million, and so is Donny, and so is Fred, and Hannibal's 13, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I think certain players are a bit like, I think Fred should be a bit of a higher price than Elanga for some reason. Like, for example, I think that should be.
Well, he's got a year left on his deal, though. That's the thing about Fred. That's why he's coming to that price.
Yeah. But like, well, Mason Mount's 55 fucking million. He's got a year left on his deal. So why is it with us we have to put a price that is acceptable, but every other team can charge up the fucking yin yang for him? There's a player on his deal.
Who knows the market these days? Because Kovacic got a year left on. Well, I think he had more than a year left on his deal, and he goes for 30-odd million.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Mount's for 55, so it's all over the place. Eric Bailly for 2, which is I don't see he's definitely worth more than 2. I mean, you could at least get 5 for him, but 2 million. I know he's injury prone, but he's still a quality player, isn't he? When he's available.
Yeah, he's played more football for United than Brandon Williams has, and Brandon Williams is 5 million. So Eric Bailly's got to be like minimum 5, 6, 7 million. So I don't understand that one. Tellez is valued at 10, and he's played more football than Brandon Williams. So it's like it's a weird pricing structure. I don't understand certain ones there. There's a bit of a sort of weird sort of price markup on certain ones, and then an absolute discount on other ones. I don't understand it in the for sale category. Donny van de Beek makes sense to me. Hannibal Medri makes sense to me. Tellez price makes sense to me. Brandon Williams price makes sense to me. But yeah, Eric Bailly, Elanga, and Fred, I'm like, that pricing's a bit off for me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just 1 second. Sorry.
Adam is saying I want it out with Sofia Vergara, but I'm not getting that. Same with 20 million for Elanga. Moondog Mount is 55 million because Chelsea clean house and making money back to beat the financial fair play rules. Yeah, well, we're under financial fair play obligations as well, so we need to be able to do that as well. And then Brian Casey says United tax when we buy players and a TK Maxx discount when we sell. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So there's an issue with Chivy's connection or audio or something like that. So are we able to switch just to 2-person screen, Sam? And I'll go through some stuff myself whilst we're doing that. For some reason, Chivy, I don't know.
Hold on. I'll keep it on the 3 for now, and then while you talk, I will sort the 2 out on the back end. So.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Apologies about that. I don't know what's going on. Something's happening with Chivy, isn't there? But of course, we'll have him back on during the week at some point. We move on then to the categories we'll listen to offers. So Harry Maguire for £40 million, McTominay for £40 million, and Dean Henderson for £20 million. Now, 2 of them sales in particular would be very good ones because McTominay, academy product, Dean Henderson, academy product, which would, when you talk about FFP, that's all profit, basically. I think it's been a little bit optimistic, asking for 40 million for McTominay. I mean, maybe people in the chat will disagree. I'm not entirely sure. I also think the same with Harry Maguire, even though that's half of his price tag that he wants, because people have to take into account his wages that he's on as well. This is a guy who's on 200 grand a week, captain, I use very lightly again, of Manchester United. He's got Champions League football guaranteed this year, depending on, he probably won't be playing a lot, but so it would take a club with a significant offer to convince him. And and a decent price, but 40 million, I'm like, I thought we'd get 30 from Maguire, probably 30 to 35 from McTominay. And then Dean Henderson, I think we're getting lowballed with that with Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest are offering like 15 million, I think, because they're kind of stuck a little bit on the wages. So I think we should get more for Dean Henderson. Definitely get more.
Yeah, I agree. He's one of the few sellable assets that we have. We have him and Maguire and McTominay. They're probably the top 3 assets where you get a decent amount of money for him, 30, 40 million, and that's a good price. The other ones, you're just sort of getting rid of Deadwood and getting him off the books. But those 3 you should be getting a decent amount of money for. 15 million is ridiculous for Dean Henderson.
Well, for people in the chat, if you had a gun to your head right now and they said to you, do you think Maguire is going to be sold this summer? Your answer would be, drop it in the comment section. Sam, what would your answer be? Do you think Maguire goes this summer?
I'm getting less and less confident as the time goes on that he goes. I think
I am in general. Just with sales, to be honest.
I think he does. I think he doesn't go. I would love him to. I'd love him to go, but I just at the minute there's not been any activity other than a little bit of sort of interest from Tottenham, haven't there? Or Tottenham might be injured. That's all I've heard. And other than that, I haven't heard anything. So
we have this circus around about every summer. We have a list of players where I'm pretty sure we did like a tier list last season where we was like sell, and all these players, and then most of them are still here. Of course, a lot left last summer, but that was because of contracts running out. Jesse Lingard, for example, Edison Cavani, etc. But I look at the list there, and these, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players there that are for sale. We'll listen to offers, could leave at the right. They're basically all for sale. But I only see probably, I don't even know. I think Elanga probably goes, but he'll probably end up going on a loan. I don't even think we'll sell him.
Yeah.
Hannibal, same. I think he'll go on a loan. Tellez and Bailly, I've not seen any interest in them whatsoever. I've not heard anything about them at all. Brandon Williams, I mean,
just
loaned him out to Norwich.
Just release
and he
him.
didn't pull out. Yeah, like he's not even want to look at that. Who's going to buy in? No, like, especially with the disciplinary issues that you've had off the thing with like doing balloons in a car and shit.
We released Twanzebe and Phil Jones. Like, just release Brandon Williams, man. Like, you ain't going to get any money for him. He's not going to play for us. Nobody's going to want to loan him. Just release him. You're fucking done with it.
I don't think it's going to cost that much either, is it, to kind of buy him out of his thing? Like, it won't be on that much per thing, Maguire, I don't think we sell. I don't think we sell McTominay because I think we sell Fred to Fulham because there's actual concrete interest in there.
Fred looks the more likely one at this point, doesn't he? He looks like the one who's going to go. So
I think we sell Henderson, but we get low balled, and I think we sell him for 15 plus 5 or something, and maybe a little bit of a payoff on his contract. And then Sancho, Martial, I think Sancho stays. I think Martial stays, and you'll see again the preseason that we saw last season, where 3 of them are linking up and everybody's getting excited. And they're like, oh, this looks really good. Look at the combinational play. Look at the rhythm. Look at the attack. And then we start the season, and Martial's got a hip injury. Martial's got a fucking...
Are we going to fall for that again, though? Like, I don't know about you, but if Martial... remember Andres Pereira? Preseason Perlo? Every preseason, he'd pull out and he'd look like an absolute fucking worldie. Looked next level. Season starts... dog shit, absolute dog shit. Could not play, could not pass. It was like a dog chasing the car, like just no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
So I don't think fans are going to fall for it anymore. I think people have got to the point with Martial and just gone, look, this guy can't stay fit, and when he is fit, he's not banging the goals in. He's not doing what he needs to be doing. I don't think fans are going to be fooled this preseason anymore. That get excited that he's linking up with it. They're working well. I think most fans are like, no, we need a number 9 that we can rely on. We need somebody who can score goals. Like, this guy's just not going to cut it anymore. Sancho, I think, he's probably got another season of patience left with the fans. I think fans would probably give him one more season. But if he plays another season like he did this season just gone or the season before, he's done. Like, it's over.
Yeah, it's a tough one with Sancho because we've said it before, haven't we? If we get 50 to 60 million, if that, I think even 40 to 45, you might be like, okay, take a little bit of a hit on it, which we have done with pretty much every single player that we've bought. But who from that list, we've got it on the screen there, and again, guys, get involved with it, please, and we'll read out a couple of your comments. Who from that list would you keep, if anyone?
I'd keep... I don't know if I'd keep any of them, to be honest with you.
To be fair, I expected you to say none of them.
I like Donny, I really do, but I'm at the point now where I don't think he can cut it in the Premier League. Like, I think he's a very good player. I think he has qualities, but I just don't think he can cut it in the Premier League. Fred, sometimes he's one of the greatest midfielders you've ever seen. Other times he makes you want to tear your hair out, and you can't have that at United. You have to either be a player who's absolutely stunning, or you have to be a solid 6, 7 out of 10 every week, 7, 8 out of 10 every week, and he's neither. So I think he has to go. Langer's had his time, great athlete, just not good enough. Hannibal, I haven't seen enough. He could be good, I don't know. But if he's on the list, then I assume he's been looked at and he's not going to get it. Tellez, Bailly, Brandon Williams, all not good enough. Yeah, they can go. Zidane I'm a bit disappointed about, but I think we do have a buyback clause and we do have a sell-on fee, so that could come good in the future. Maguire's done, needs to go. Henderson's done, he needs to go. Scott McTominay, great guy, works hard for the club, has moments and stuff, but I just think his quality is just not there. If he stuck around, I wouldn't be absolutely angry. I just don't want him as a first team guy starting week in, week out. If he was going to be there for squad depth, then fine. To come on for the last 10, 15 minutes of a game, fine. Sancho, I'm prepared to give him 1 more year. Like, I'd give him 1 more year, but like you said, if somebody came in with 60 million, I'd be like, I'd take it. Honestly, I'd take it. And Martial, yeah, he's done. Like, he's had, like Brian said in the chat, he's had 8 years. He's not doing it. Like, he can't be relied upon. It's over.
Should we read out a couple of them?
Yeah.
Comments if possible.
It's quite a lot of comments actually. If the Glazers go, I think he goes. I think that's referring to Maguire. I think. Salford might be a good move for Williams. I don't even know if Salford would take him at this point, to be honest with you. Like, might be a bit too much.
True.
Hi, Vince Bullock. Hi, guys. How are you doing, Vince? Brian Casey, possibly Sancho is the only one you might keep based on the fact that Ten Hag backed him when he had his issues. Could be a different player with a full season under Ten Hag. Yeah, it's a good point. Dan Ayrton, I'd loan out Elanga to a team where he's going to play week in, week out, build up his confidence. I just don't think he's good enough. I think he's a good athlete. He puts in the hours, he puts in the hard work, but he just doesn't have the quality. So I don't think a loan's going to help him. I just think he's not got the quality. That's what you get when you attitude's back to the manager and you swear at him, you're out the door. I don't know who that's referring to, but Charles Sam, the only reason Scott might stay is because he's the only cover for Casemiro. He's not though, is he? He's not a number 6. He's a number 8. Like, he's a box-to-box midfielder.
I think he's better at that job than Fred is, but he's not. He's just doing a job there, innit? Yeah. He's hardly doing that, to be honest. I think who we're going to touch on next, Rabiot, could be that kind of cover for Casemiro. And then, depending on what happens with the Casado deal or the Mason Mount deal, then it's interesting. But I suppose that's kind of give us the perfect segue into that bit. Again, keep getting your comments in about that. More happy to read out the comments. But Adrian Rabiot, it swings perfectly into that. So Manchester United have made an offer to Adrian Rabiot in the last few hours. He is considering the possibility of joining United. Juventus are waiting for an answer for a 1-year renewal from Adrian Rabiot. The Frenchman is being tempted by Manchester United. And a deal could be, something could be announced in the next couple of days in terms of his. We thought the deal may have been done to stay at Juventus yesterday because that's I think it was being reported from Damasio, but it's obviously been United have been like, oh, hang on a minute, we could,
United
I know it's not the shiny deal
again.
Exactly. And I know it's not the shiny deal that everybody be looking at, but this is still an important deal for depth, right? Just because of literally the things we were just talking about.
Yeah, no, I think obviously the main issue is his mum, the agent. She's very demanding. She's going to ask for a ridiculous wage, which we shouldn't be giving him because we're trying to restructure the wage in a way that people are not getting absolutely insane wages because that has the problem then. Especially a guy, what hell is he, 28? You don't want to be offering that sort of wage to a guy who's about to enter 30 and stuff like that. It's just a stupid thing to do. So I think that's the stumbling block. I think in terms of if we got him and he played, I think he's a decent player. He plays amazing for France. Like you have a look at the depth of France's midfield. Like it's ridiculous, but he starts. Yeah. Like he starts for France every week. He had a great season for Juventus last season. In a torrid time for Juve. Like obviously they had points taken off him. They got put back on and they got taken off again. So they had a bit of an up and down season. but he was one of their better players, and he plays week in, week out. Not week in, week out, but he plays every time for France. He's one of their most important players. I think he can offer a lot. He's versatile, which is what Ten Hag wants in a player. Can play multiple positions, can play that 6, can play the 8, can play a bit more advanced. So I think he would be a great addition for squad depth. He's better than Fred. He's better than McTominay. So, like, it's an upgrade automatically in squad depth, and he can give Eriksen the night off, or you can give Casemiro a night off, etc. You can switch it around. I think if you got him and Casido, I'd be happy with that. I think that's a good midfield addition right there. I'd be very happy with that.
Sorry, the internet. I think my internet sped up a little bit there, but yeah, I think I got most of your point. We've actually had reports coming out now, and you're going to say "shut up, Nick," and I take it. I understand.
Here we go.
But this is coming from a very reliable source as well.
Okay.
Apparently, Centre Devils. I've just put it out. Frankie De Jong's departure is on the table as Barcelona urgently need to sell a player. Reports are super reliable. I'm not saying this. This is what I'm looking at.
Oh no!
Just reading now. I tell you what, if that was the case, I don't think it is. I'm not going to get excited about it, because I think that's done. I don't think it'll happen. But if that was the case, I would collapse that Mount deal instantly. I would collapse the Casado deal instantly, and I would go get Frankie De Jong for 70 million, whatever it's going to cost you. If you're going to spend 70 million Casado,
can we just check? Are your pants still on at this point?
I've actually got shorts on at the minute, but I'm still sweating. I don't know whether that's to do with the De Jong deal or not. I'm not entirely sure. But look, it's all kind of going off in the midfield area in a minute. I don't know what's going to... I don't know if I think if we sign Casado, I was listening to James's from Muppertays before, and he was saying if we sign Casado, Rabiot's less likely. But if we sign Mount, we'll get Rabiot with Mount. But then De Jong can do everything if you put him into that midfield. So it'd be interesting to see who we sell as well. And then, so if we sell McTominay, can we sell McTominay and Fred and then bring in Mount and Rabiot, or will we still need one of them? Like, how do you think that dynamic works?
I think, what I would do if I was in charge, I would sell Fred and McTominay and then bring in Casido and Rabiot, or a De Jong and Rabiot. I think De Jong and Casido is too much. I don't think that's doable. Like, I'd love that. That'd be my ideal thing, but I just don't think it's doable financially. So yeah, one of those combinations would work for me. I would sell both of those midfielders, and then you've got, say, Kobe Mainu. You could chuck him in and around a mix and learn from these guys, or maybe I know Charlie Savage had a very good loan away from United. Chuck him in as well around the first team, so you've got a youth option there as well. So I think any of that combination I'd be happy with. I don't want to make any more De Jong graphics. I don't want to do any more.
I'm just reading Man Analytics' account on Twitter. He's saying, "I have none left in me. I'm exhausted."
Exactly.
Reacting to this De Jong news, and he's absolutely spot on. So are we after last season. But yeah, De Jong trending on Twitter. The whole kind of thing going off, which is
please no.
Very interesting. Look, it's simple for me, and this is Barca Centre just tweeted it as well. Barca needs to sell players in addition to the well-known names. Frankie's option should not be ruled out in the event that a special offer arrives.
Right. This is, if the De Jong thing is going to happen, this is how we do it. You go in with an offer, take it or leave it. Like, this is how much. This is his wages. We'll pay his wages that he's owed from you, and this is the offer. Mm-hmm. Take it or leave it. If they say no, just fuck off. Go away. Yeah. Leave it.
No more sagas.
No chasing him. No Richard Arnold going to fucking Barcelona 3 times. None of that shit. Just if there's an inkling that he could leave or they need to sell, go to him and be like, look, this is the offer. This is the wage. This is it. Do you want it? And if they go, we were thinking maybe let's just fuck off. Just leave it. Just like we've done with the Mount deal. Just leave it on the table. Go, that's on the table, lads. So if you get to the point where financially you're going to struggle and you need to make some money, we'll leave that offer on the table. You know where to find us. Like, call us and we'll sort it. But don't pursue him. Don't do the whole thing. I can't do it.
Yeah. I love the comments. Everyone's talking about De Jong now, saying they take him up.
There we go.
Look, I think what the issue is, if Ten Hag finds out De Jong's available, we know for a fact he'll go in for him, and we'll know for a fact we'll put a bid in for him. But then that has effects on other deals as well because you stretch the budget. So I think what would happen if he was to go in for something like this, and again, this is all hypothetical, but I think De Gea would probably end up staying on, so they don't have to fork out a fee for a goalkeeper, so the budget's a bit more stretched. And then I think, well, is it worth it to keep De Gea on to get De Jong? And I'm like, well, I love De Jong, so probably, but another season with De Gea, some people seem to be open to it. I'm like, this has always been a priority signing for me, getting a goalkeeper, so I'm a little bit torn in that sense.
I think the two number one priority positions are striker and goalkeeper for me. Like, we have to get both of those. That's what I would be focused on. I think a midfielder is very important. I absolutely agree, but I think striker and goalkeeper are the absolute priority. So if I can only get two positions, that's the two I'm focusing on, because we've watched De Gea for an entire season under Ten Hag hinder us, cost us games, cost us finals, cost us everything. Anything we've actually gone for and tried to push. Like, we could have been in a title charge, we could have been in the Europa League semi-final, final, the FA Cup final, just continuously giving it to City. City didn't even play that well, to be honest with you, but we just gifting him possession after time, so it just made it easier for him. He can't play for United anymore. Like, he's a liability. He's going to cost us more points than he's going to save us next season. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Honestly, should we get into a few comments, Sam? Read a few comments.
Brian Casey, all the players on the list are not good enough for United if you want to challenge for a league or the Champions League. Agreed. Imagine if our list was that starting 11 in the group stage. I mean, it's probably been that way at some point. Dan Harrington, Rabiot's mum won't let him join. Yeah, that is a problem. Brian Casey, Rabiot, Casido, Højlund, Onana, Max Thuram would be a decent window. I think Thuram's gone to Inter. I think that deal's done. He's signed, so he's not available anymore. But I'd be all right with that window. Rabiot, Casido, Højlund, Onana. I'd be all right with that. That'd be a decent window.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Moondog Rabiot was definitely one of those kids who had played it because he's the way of his mother is. You know. Aaron's telling you to stop it, Nick. I think that's in reference to De Jong. Brian Casey said, I saw that report, but I didn't want to say it. I take De Jong over Mount and Casido. New Reds game. Every time Nick mentions Frankie, we all take a shot. Mate, last season we would have been pissed every single show we did. Every single show. Barca needs to sell players, but somehow they managed to buy Mbappe. I think if Mbappe goes, he goes to Real Madrid. I don't think he goes to Barca. That's his dream, to go to Madrid. Frankie would go to Munich or City if he leaves Barca. If he went to City, I think Nick would kill himself. Literally think Nick would kill himself if he went to City.
Oh, mate.
Darren Fletcher's used a company card to take a trip to Barca, so he's leaked De Jong rumours.
Yeah. I'm trying not to get myself into fantasy land because I know I've been there before and I don't want to go back because it didn't happen. So it's like it's like going back to your ex-girlfriend with this bloody De Jong deal. I don't even want to discuss it. We'll move on from it. But we are going to stick with the midfield again. A lot of discussions around the midfield because the next topic after this is about a certain ticket as well. But Mason Mount deal. Matt Law reported before Mason Mount will report for his pre-season training next week. If his future remains unsolved, he's ready to tell Pochettino he'll work hard and fly out on pre-season tour also. I said before, it feels like relying on Mount's side to kind of push this deal, and now reports that happened about Casado. Do you think that's smoke and mirrors now after the initial excitement?
Maybe it's like a Chelsea ploy to get us to go in with more money. Like them going, he's going to stay now. Like, he's going to be fine. So maybe then they may think United are going to panic and go, okay, we'll offer you the 65 or whatever it is they're asking for. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's not willing to do the sort of dark side of like trying to leave a club by like causing a fuss, like you said, or making moves to get out, handing a transfer request, etc. It seems like that's what we're relying on. The Harry Kane move to happen. It seems like if he doesn't do that, Harry Kane doesn't happen. So it seems like Mount is the same way. But Aaron's got a good point. He can still report to pre-season, but he ain't signing a new contract. He's just being professional. Yeah, could be. Definitely could be. So nobody knows for sure. So, but we'll see.
Do you not think it should be the other way around though? Like, why are we only going for Casado if the Mount deal falls through? Like, we should be going for Casado, and if the Casado deal falls through, we should then looking at Mount. Or at least looking at Mount next season on a 3. Like, just that doesn't.
I think it's to do with money.
It don't make sense to me.
I think it's to do with money. I think they thought they could get Mount for cheaper like for 45, 50 million. I think that's what they thought. And I think Ten Hag also identified him as a player. He was like, for the money I have available and for the profile that fits that I need, Mason Mount fits all those things. So I thought they think they could probably get him cheaper than what Chelsea are trying to bargain for because he's in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
Caicedo is in. He signed a new contract recently. It's going to cost a fortune. Great player, fantastic player, no doubts, and he can do as well, if not better than Mount. But the price point and getting him out of Brighton is probably the issue. Why they probably thought, right, we'll put him as backup, and we'll spend the money if we have to. But he'd be the second option, whereas Mount ticks every single box that they were looking for. So I think that's probably why.
Yeah. Well, you just reminded me, actually, we have just finished filming the members' videos for this week, and it's 2. So one of them is the random live, where we basically pick names out of a hat out of the current members, and whoever we pulled out, which we've already done, and people will find out when you do eventually watch that, gets a chance to feature on the show. So once you've watched it, drop us a message and we'll arrange that. And then the next video is Mason Mount versus Moises Caicedo, an in-depth analytical look at both players, how they would compare, how they would fit into our system, the background, a very detailed insight to it. It's very good. And I know I did it myself, but I actually feel like it's one of the better videos that I've done on both. So make sure you do check that out. If you're not a Real Red Ultra member and you want to become part of the ever-growing community, click the join button next to the notification bell for exclusive content, a badge next to your name. And then, again, another chance to feature on the show when we get up to 22. We're going to do a live event again, and then you'll get future perks when we start releasing merch and all that kind of jazz. So thank you for the continued support. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Just seeing this. Maguire must move to my football club, Olympiacos. There he can play well. Mate, you're more than welcome to have him.
I mean, isn't he facing trial in Greece at the minute? Like they've rearranged his trial for February next season, so he might be there anyway, in jail.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what he was alluding to. Yeah, Sam's just put a link in the chat there. So if anyone wants to become a Real Red Ultra, the Caicedo versus Mount is a very good video and a lot of insight into it. So I hope you enjoy that one. Now, the last topic on the table, Sam, Mohamed Kudus. So Marcel van der Kraan, who's a Dutch journalist, has reported, I think he's like the Dutch journalist for the Telegraph, I think. And he's reported, what I understand over the weekend is that Mohamed Kudus is indeed very much in the picture of Manchester United, but in a position where someone is still ahead on the wish list. That could mean Mason Mount, not entirely sure. But someone like this, probably cheaper than Mount, can play a number of positions. You've got the Ajax relationship there. Ten Hag relationship kind of makes sense again. Is this someone you'd look at, you'd be happy with, let's say if we did turn our attentions to him? And again, same question for the chat.
I've not watched a lot of him, I will be honest. I've seen bits and pieces, clips and stuff like that, but I haven't seen like massive amounts of him, so I couldn't make a full analysis or opinion on him. But if Ten Hag's identified him, obviously, like you said, the Ajax connection, so he's aware of him, he knows all about him. So I think if Ten Hag has gone, right, if Mount's not an option and Caicedo, this is a guy that I can work with, I can develop, because he's young and he's like 21, I think. He's a young player.
Youngish. He's youngish,
he can develop, then you just got to trust the manager, aren't you? This is what it's all about. All these transfers and all these like things. Whatever Ten Hag and his team have identified and the players they want, do it. Just execute it. Go to first choice. You can't get first choice, go to the second one. You can't get second one, go to the... Whatever the manager wants, go for that. Do not go and do what we used to do, where we just sign the shiny player who's going to get shirt sales, going to get social media clicks, because we've seen it doesn't work. Like we've only spent, I think, 105 million less than City, and look at the state of us and look at them. Like, it just shows you money has to be invested in the right players, for the right manager, for the system, all that sort of stuff. And if we back the manager, he will bring us success. He will bring us trophies. If we don't, we're going to end up with the same 10 years that we've been doing for the last 17 years under the Glazers. It's going to be the same shit.
From what I've seen of him, and I remember doing a video a while back, so I had like a closer look at how he plays stuff. He's got that kind of low center of gravity, decent strength on the ball for his size, similar to Ahmad in that kind of sense. But he's very, versatile. He can play loads of positions. He's played like a false nine on the wing, like academy. Obviously, Ajax came through there. Like, he's serious player. But should we not be looking at more players like this around Europe? I suppose I'm trying to make, because we always go for, like you said, obvious signings, innit? It's like,
yeah.
I can't remember the last astute one we got from Europe. I mean, maybe you can throw Malacia into that category.
Yeah.
But is anybody else? I can't think of anyone. Astute signings around Europe.
But you can't.
Unless you include
Bruno.
Oh, because he's more of an obvious spot. Like Bruno Fernandes was captain for Sporting Lisbon. His stats, like, everyone called him a stat padder, but
yeah,
I'm on about like rough diamonds that not a lot of people know about.
I mean,
United signed like
we picked Garnacho out, didn't we? From Atletico
Academy.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a lot younger. I know he's a lot younger, and he didn't cost as much, but we picked him out. I know we did the same for Hannibal, but obviously that's not worked out. Like, I know we went and got him and paid a decent chunk. Ahmad might be on the list. He looks promising. Not proved it yet, but we took him from Atlanta. Paid a decent chunk. Plessy's still yet to be proven, but Ahmad looks a very good prospect. Garnacho looks like a very good prospect. I think they're probably the two, but we did pay quite a bit of money for Ahmad, didn't we?
Yeah, for Ahmad.
Yeah. So
that's what I mean. Because I was reading into Casado before, and I was looking at his come up like in Ecuador, and that's what Brighton do. Brighton will go to areas where let's say Madrid, or like just areas where not necessarily the big teams will go and scout players and really look for that talent. And particularly South America with Brighton and City have done it as well. Like, they've just found these gems who we could have signed for $5 million, which we already know the whole situation with Casado. But deals like this, we need to start doing more of. Like, we don't do nowhere near enough of.
We need a competent scouting network, which we don't have. Like, we don't have a competent scouting network. Like, Ajax have one, Brighton have one, City have one, Liverpool have got one as well. Like, the amount of people they've picked up for like pennies. Like, compared to the prices we've paid. Like, Andy Robertson was fuck all money. I know they paid a lot for Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, but Luis Diaz was not that much money. Salah, they didn't pay that much. Mane, like, they didn't pay that much money. It was 30-40 million here and there. Like, so it all adds up. I just think we need to structure our scouting network. So we need to have like scouts out in South America, scouts in Europe, maybe some scouts in Asia, because people like the Korean, Japanese league seems to be producing quite a lot of players. Like Son, Mitoma, there's that guy, Kim Min-jae. So you've got players coming out there. So like, you need to have scouts in every single region of the world, and you need to be able to utilize them and use them and go, all right, we're looking for this sort of player. Like, the manager needs this sort of player. What have you got? And they can go through the list and go, I've got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. This is his stats. Age profile is how much he'll probably cost. These are all the sort of features that he'd be good at. This is what he needs to prove on. And just have this database full of players where you could go to and just have a player for each position. Like, we had that, we joked about Lorient with it, didn't we? Where it's like, we had a database of 500 right backs and we picked out Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Like, come on. 500 right backs in Wan-Bissaka's your choice. Come on. Like, that's not.
Well, look at what Leicester did with N'Golo Kante, for example, or even like teams in League One. Like, they picked this guy up from like a League 3. Mahrez as well was like 600k. Yeah. We never ever do deals like that, and it's just frustrating, man. I'd like to see something like that, but I don't think we are going to get anything like that. I'd be very surprised if we made a signing, like an astute signing, but I suppose it is what it is. Should we read a few more comments and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. Mikey Matt, time for Eric Ten Hag to be ruthless, clearing the Walking Dead. There you go. All the clowns mentioned this poll should go. Yeah. By the way, the poll is, I asked who has to go this summer. Maguire, Sancho, McTominay, Fred. Maguire is 85%. Sancho is 4. McTominay 7, and then Fred's 4. That's 27 votes. So
interesting.
Maguire's a clear thing. Dan, Man United representatives, the scouts, the transfer, the associates should play FIFA career mode first. Trust me, I learn a lot from there. I scout many players, send transfer requests for 10, 15 players. I mean, that would be giving them some credit if they fucking use FIFA, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ.
I know.
Mikey Matt, Tomine will stay beyond the summer. The guy's joint top goal scorer in the Euro qualifiers. He is actually as well. Ridiculous.
It means nothing to me.
Have you heard of Gift Orban? Nick Orban?
I've heard of Orban, the centre back. I don't know if I've heard of the Gift. What are you alluding to?
Well, Aaron's just asked Orban centre back, so I assume so. Aaron, if we sign Loftus-Cheek, I'm going down to that pub that Richard Arnold was at last summer and slapping him with a pack of Nobby's nuts. So, Moondog, that looks like Gabriel Obertan changed his name.
Yeah, repackaged. That's marketing for you. Marketing 101.
I could do a better scouting job working from home than those there as scouts. I mean, I could fucking do a job, and I don't even have to try. Like, I could identify talent. I don't even have to.
We have literally spoken about players on here who we were speaking about Lisandro Martinez on here before we even got linked with him.
Julian Alvarez.
We spoke about players on here.
Julian
Julian Alvarez. First video we ever did was in November on Julian Alvarez. Like, yeah, they certainly need to sort the scouting network out because it's a fucking abysmal. But that's something maybe for next year that's going to happen. It's certainly not going to be implicated this year because we've already got our list essentially. So let's see what happens. We're going to wrap it up there. Appreciate all you guys tuning in consistently every single day, especially the Real Red Ultra members as well. Like I said, if you want to become a part of the membership, click the join button next to the notification bell for all the exclusive perks that come with it. Make sure you smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got 2 guests lined up this week. Tomorrow we've got Alice Talks Football. I think. Let me just double check because I don't want to kind of butcher the pronouncement on that. Let me double check. And we've got Jay Motti, who's basically family at this point, on the channel.
Jay Motti's just got an open invite. He just comes on whenever he wants, really. So
yeah. It's free ground for Jay, but this will be Alice's first appearance on Real Red Talks. So make sure you're all very welcoming. Alice Talks Football, that's what it is. Yeah. A lot of people would have seen her on TikTok and things like that. So she's on the channel tomorrow. Jay Motti on Thursday night, and then we've got loads of other interesting bits of content. 2 members' videos that have been filmed this week. Yeah, loads of stuff. Make sure you drop us a follow on socials. All the handles are at the bottom of the graphic. And Sam, you're more than welcome to see us out.
Yeah, apologies for the technical mishaps at the beginning with Chivy and all that sort of stuff. Shit happens sometimes. It's what it is.
I think my connection was a bit mad as well.
Yeah,
Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Discord might be a bit of an issue. But yeah, apologies. Sorted in the end. It's all good. And Brian Casey is right. Jay Motti is a legend. Absolutely. Absolute legend. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Follow us on socials.
Shout out. I was just going to say, shout out to them as well. They just hit 700k, which is insane.
Yeah. Congratulations.
On Stratford Palace. So congratulations to them. And follow us on socials, all that kind of stuff. And we will see you guys in the next one. If anything breaks, you know the script will be there on a minute talking about it. So
unless it's Frankie de Jong.
If it's Frankie de Jong, if it's actual something concrete, expect a big show. Loads of fireworks, champagne. That's fine. I can sit here for an hour and talk about de Jong, so it's absolutely fine. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.